Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. In this tutorial, we will explore the process of setting up an AWS site-to-site virtual private network, which is VPN, to establish secure communication between your on-premises network and AWS resources. So these are the table of contents which we are going to learn today. So first we will learn about what is AWS site-to-site VPN, then we will learn about the components, then what is the architecture we are going to perform today in our practical. So this is the architecture we are going to learn. Then what is IPsec? Then we will see steps for setting up AWS site-to-site VPN, which include creation of VPC in the Mumbai and North Virginia region. Then we will launch Linux machine. Then we will set up virtual private gateway and some other steps. And in the end, we will learn some benefits, importance, and best practices for configuring site-to-site VPN, and also some use cases to learn site-to-site VPN, and followed by the conclusion. So let's start. So what is AWS site-to-site VPN? So AWS site-to-site VPN is a secure way to connect your on-premises network like your office network or data center to your AWS cloud resources. It's like building a private tunnel through the internet between your office and AWS, ensuring that your data travels safely and privately. So let's take an example. So imagine a scenario where you have a AWS account and you have a VPC and you have some resources running in there, for example, EC2 instance. And at the same time, you have a corporate data center with on-premises server. So how we can enable the connection between the two, and how our EC2 instance can talk to on-premises server and vice versa as well. So in order to do so that, we will need to set up a site-to-site VPN, and the configuration requires the following things. So first we need to set up a virtual private gateway or a VGW inside our VPC. So basically this will enable the communication to flow through or outside the scope of the VPC. And at the same time, inside our corporate data center, we need to set up VPN device, and we need to point out a customer gateway, or which we can set up inside our AWS account to that VPN device. So here on the diagram, you can see the customer gateway actually is inside the corporate data center, and this is because that representing the VPN device that we have set up inside the corporate data center. But actually, this is important to remember that customer gateway is actually a configuration inside your AWS account, so that configuration so that the AWS account just points to a VPN that's reside in your corporate data center. So once those two are set up, from there you can enable a VPN connection or site-to-site VPN between these two. So what is the connection? Well, a VPN connection or a site connection is a secure connection, but it uses public internet, which is important to remember, as it uses public internet, so it's not actually private. So because it's using public internet, but at the same time it is secure, it's encrypted. So it's safe in that way to use it secure, and also because it's using public internet, as is subject to variable latency and bandwidth of the public internet. So if there are any delays and bandwidth goes up and down, that is going to be affecting this connection. And of course, important to remember, these two names, customer and VPG, gets saved inside the VPC, and the customer gateway gets set up inside your AWS account. So, but both points to the VPN device inside the corporate data center. So the virtual private gateway as well as customer gateway is created inside the VPC. but only the instance created in on-premises network is targeted by the customer gateway. By entering your EC2 instance IP address, we can target the instance which is available on on-premises network. So with this help, we can with a VPN connection, so we can communicate with the instance launched in one region and the instance launched on the on-premises network. Now let's learn about the components of VPN. So first, as you can see, this is the VPN tunnel. The line here you can see the VPN tunnel. So it is a secure pathway for data between locations like virtual pipeline. So for example, connecting to work from home using VPN. Then there is virtual private gateway. So it is entry point to cloud network which manages VPN connection. For example, AWS VPC for secure connection to VPCs. Then is the customer gateway which represents on-premises network in VPN endpoint for VPN connection. Example, office router connecting to AWS via VPN. Then is the site-to-site VPN connection, which provides secure link between these separate networks like virtual bridge. Example, site-to-site VPN between Office network and AWS VPC. Then is the VPN configuration. So we will learn that later. Now, let's learn about the architecture of site-to-site VPN, which we are going to perform today. So in today's tutorial, as we don't have actually an on-premises data center, so what we are going to do, we are going to use our second account to simulate on-premises data center. So we will set the data center in one of the region, Mumbai region and in North Virginia region. So here you can find in this architecture, we have used components like VPC, public subnet route table, VPG, VPN connection, and customer gateway, and also same in the North Virginia region. So first is the VPC. We have created VPC in the Mumbai region. So VPC is a logically isolated network segment within the AWS cloud. So we can create VPC with multiple subnets like different buildings with an apartment complex to organize our resources. Here you can observe in VPC we have created public subnet. So basically a subnet that has a route to the internet gateway. Instances launched in the public subnet can be accessed from the internet. And then we have created an EC2 instance in the Mumbai region. Then a route table is also being created, which determines how the traffic is routed within a VPC. So it directs traffic to the appropriate gateway exit point to reach its destination like a map for residents in the VPC to navigate. And here, as you can see in the Mumbai region, we have created an EC2 instance, which is a virtual server running in the AWS cloud. Then you can find we have created VPG gateway. So an internet gateway will allow traffic to flow between your VPC and the internet. And a VPN gateway enables secure connection between your VPC and your on-premises network, which is currently now in North Virginia region. Then we have VPN connection, which will give a secure tunnel that allows traffic to flow between your VPC and your on-premises network over the internet. So specifically, the architecture showcase a VPC with two public subnet, which is one in Mumbai region and another is in North Virginia region. So each subnet has an instance launched within it. So there's an also route table associated with the each subnet. So the route table for the public subnet in Mumbai region is configured to use the VPN connection to route traffic to the internet. So this means that the traffic originating from the instance in the Mumbai subnet will traverse the secure VPN tunnel to reach the internet. And the route table which is created in North Virginia region is configured to utilize the internet gateway to route traffic to the internet. So the traffic originating from the instance in the North Virginia subnet will use the standard internet gateway for internet access. So let's take an example to understand this architecture. So imagine an apartment complex VPC with different buildings, subnets. So let's say there are two buildings, one in Mumbai and another in North Virginia. So the resident instances in each building need a way to get to the internet. So a route table will act like a map that tells the residents which exit gateway to use to get to their destination. So without a VPN connection, the residents would have to go outside the apartment complex, which is the VPC, and then come back through the main gate, which is the internet gateway, to get to the internet. So with the VPN connection, the residents can use a secure tunnel to connect directly to the internet from their building without having to leave the apartment complex entirely. So the route table shows that the residents in the Mumbai building, which is a public subnet, will use the VPN connection to get into the internet, while the residents in the North Virginia building will use the internet gateway. Next, we will learn about what is IPsec. So IPsec is a network protocol suite used in VPNs to secure data transmission over IP networks. It authenticates and encrypts data packets, ensuring integrity anti-replay authentication. So in confidentiality encrypts data to prevent unauthorized access, and integrity, which will ensure data remains unchanged during the transmission, and the authentication, which will verify sender and receiver identity, and anti-replay, which will prevent attackers from reusing captured packets. So IPsec creates encrypted tunnels for securing data center and network security. Now let's start with the practical. So let's learn what are the steps for setting up AWS Site-to-Site VPN. So as we have seen the architecture, according to this, we will perform the practical. So first is to create the VPC in the Mumbai region. So let's start. So let's move on to our AWS console. So here you can find that I am currently in the Mumbai region, and I have just right click and click on the duplicate, and here you can find that in this account I am using region which is US East North Virginia. So now let's create VPC in the Mumbai region. So just click on VPC, then click on create VPC, click on VPC only, then give the name for the VPC. Now let's name our VPC as AWS Site VPC. You can give a name as per your requirement. Now here in IPv4 header block, here you need to mention the IP address. So just type 10.1.0.0 60 and keep all other settings as default. So just I have given the name to the VPC and mentioned the CIDR block, the IP address. Now just click on create VPC. So our VPC has been created successfully. Now our next step is to create a subnet within our VPC. So in left hand side here you can see the VPC dashboard, and in VPC here you can see all the features. So just click on subnets and just click on create subnets, and then select the VPC we have created, which is AWS Site VPC. So here you can see associated VPC CIDR block which you have mentioned has been displayed here. Now just type the subnet name. So as we have mentioned the VPC name as site, so just type AWS site subnet, the name of the subnet, then select the amenity zone which is AP South 1A, and select the IPv4 subnet CIDR block. So just type 10.1.0.0 slash till 24. You can see 20 to 56 IPs. Then just click on create subnet. Verify the information once. The name which I have given as AWS site subnet. The amenity zone is AP South 1 and the CIDR. So just click on create subnet. Now after we have created the subnet, to enable the internet connectivity for our VPC, we need to select the internet gateway from the VPC dashboard and click on the create internet gateway. So just click on the internet gateway and just click on create internet gateway and just name the internet gateway AWS site IGW, which is internet gateway. So just create the internet gateway. Now as you can see the state is detached. Now just click on action, then click on attach to VPC. Just select your AWS site VPC and click on attach internet gateway. So as you can see now the state has been updated to attached. Now our next step is to manage routing within our VPC in the Mumbai region. So let's create and configure a route table. So navigate to the route table section in the VPC dashboard and click on create route table. Now just give the name to your route table AWS site route, and then select the VPC which is AWS site VPC and just click on create route table. Now here you can find we have created the route table successfully. Now let's edit the routes in the route table to direct the traffic. So just click on edit routes, then add a rule, select your destination, which is we are going to select the internet gateway. So just select your internet gateway and the name of the internet gateway which you have given and the ID. So just click on this and save changes. Now next step is to associate the route table with a subnet and ensure proper association. So just we need to click on subnet association, then here you can find you click on edit subnet association. So this subnet association will be created automatically. So just verify this. So as it have we have created already, so just cancel this, and here you can find We have edited the route successfully. Now our next step is to, as we have finished VPC, we have created VPC in Mumbai region. Now our next step is to create the VPC in the North Virginia region. So same steps should be followed. So let's start. So here you can see that I am in North Virginia region right now. So just click on VPC, then click on create VPC, select VPC only, then type the VPC name. So we will give this name as AWS customer VPC. Then now you need to mention here the IPv4 CIDR block. So just type 10. Earlier we have mentioned in the Mumbai region as 10.1. So here we will take 10.2 slash 16. Now just keep all other setting as default and click on create. So we have created VPC successfully. Now same as above steps, we need to create a subnet. So just click on create subnet, select the VPC. Here you can see the associated VPC CIDR block has been displayed. Then just give a name to your subnet, which is AWS customer subnet. Then select the ability zone. I am confusing US East 1A. Then select the IPv4 subnet CIDR block. Enter 10.0, sorry, 10.2.0.0 slash 24. Here you can find 256 IPs. Then click on create subnet. So our subnet has been created successfully. Now our next step is to enable the internet connectivity for our VPC. As we have enabled the internet connectivity in Mumbai region, now it's time to enable the internet connectivity in North Virginia. So just click on internet gateway, click on create internet gateway, give the name as AWS customer internet gateway and click on create internet gateway. Now as it is the state is de-attached, we need to attach it. So just click on action, then click on attach to VPC, select your VPC created earlier, which is AWS customer VPC. So this is the ID of the VPC created. So just click on attach internet gateway. So we have confirmed the attachment as the state is showing attached. Now we will create a route table. So just click on route table and create. Then give the name for our route table, which is AWS customer route. Then select the VPC, which is AWS customer VPC, which we have created earlier. Then click on create route table. So now the next step is to edit the routes. So which will, by editing the routes in the route table, which will direct the traffic. So as you can see, the destination is 10.2.0. So now we need to add the internet gateway to get the internet access. So just select your internet gateway, and earlier we have created the internet gateway. So just click on this AWS customer internet gateway and save the changes. Now our next step is to check whether the subnet association. So here you can find the subnet association have been also created successfully. You can check here by click on edit subnet association and it have associated to route table successfully. Now, our next step is to deploy an Amazon Linux instance in North Virginia region. So in diagram, here you can find the instance in the North Virginia region. So just in the search bar, just click on EC2. Now we are going to launch a EC2 instance in the North Virginia region. So just click on EC2 and then just click on launch instance. So here you need to launch the instance and just give the instance name as server 1. You can give it name as per your requirement. Then select Amazon Linux as your operating system image. Then select instance type as t2.micro as it is eligible for free tier account. Then simply create a new key pair. Then click on create key pair. So here you can see that the key pair has been downloaded successfully. Now here you need to check what the network settings should be. So just click on edit. Now the VPC required is selected. Just select the AWS customer VPC and it will automatically select a subnet. Now in auto assign public IP you should enable as we need to connect to the instance and it will require public IP address. So just enable this option. Then in firewall security groups, create a security group. So just give name as customer SG, which is the customer security group. Add the description as same. Then here you can find the inbound security group rules. So just add the security group rule. So this is required SSH protocol TCP port range and select here anywhere. So this is by default. Now you need to add your all TCP source type anywhere. Then add another security group rule which is all ICMP IPv4. So select anywhere and then you can configure the storage according to your requirement. The number of instances 1. So launch the instance. So we have successfully launched the instance. So the state is pending. So just refresh this and this instance state has been running successfully. So we have created instance in North Virginia region. Now our next step is to create virtual private gateway. So which we are going to create in the Mumbai region. So let's go back to the Mumbai region. Here you can find it is Mumbai region. And now below this you will find the virtual private network VPN and in this just click on virtual private gateway. Before that just copy the IP address as we need to create a customer gateway. So we will require that. So click on virtual private gateway now. It is in the Mumbai region. So as there are no virtual private gateway, just click on create virtual private gateway. Now, here type the name of the virtual private gateway. So just type AWS Site VPG, which is virtual private gateway. Select the autonomous system number as Amazon default. So now just click on create virtual private gateway. Now the state has been detached. So just click on action, select this first, click on action, then select attach to VPC. And here simply select the VPC created earlier in Mumbai region, which is AWS Site VPC. Now click on attach to VPC. So as you can see, the state has been attached. So it will take around 5 minutes to create VPG. Now our next step is to create a customer gateway in the Mumbai region. So below, above the virtual private gateway, just select your customer gateway. So before that, you can see that the state has been attached. The VPG has been attached to a VPC successful. Now just select on customer gateway. As there are no customer gateway, just click on create customer gateway. Now give the name as to establish the connectivity between our network and AWS. We are going to create the customer gateway. So here give the name for the customer gateway, which is customer AWS site. Select the BGP ACN as 6 as default. Then you need to mention the IP address of the instance launched in the North Virginia region. So just copy this IP address, paste it, and select the and keep other setting as default. So now just click on create customer gateway. So as you can see, the state has been available and we have created customer gateway successfully. And here you can find the IP address which is of the instance launched in the North Virginia region. Now our next step is to enable route propagation in the Mumbai region. So we need to enable the route which will allow routing between the VPC and the on-premises network. So by enabling route propagation in the Mumbai region. So select route table, so select the route table, and here you can find the option route propagation. So select here edit, so edit the route propagation, and here you can find the status is no. So just enable this to establish the connectivity. So here the propagation has been selected, yes. So we have updated the route propagation successfully. Now just go to the route table again, and here select select the other route table and edit the routes. So as you can see, select your internet gateway. So we have done this step. So now our next step is to create the site-to-site VPN connection. So the VPN connection which we have, so the VPN connection we are going to create in the Mumbai region. So if you come down and in VPN, we have created virtual private gateway and customer gateway successfully. Now just click on site-to-site VPN connection. So by creating site-to-site VPN connection in the Mumbai region, it will provide a secure connectivity between the VPCs. So basically to establish a secure connection between our Mumbai and North Virginia region, we need to create VPN connection. So just click on create VPN connection. So just select here, so just type your VPN name, which is Mumbai to North Virginia. So this is the name for our VPN connection. Then here you can find target the gateway type. So select the virtual private gateway, and as we have created the virtual private gateway, select the VPG, and in below select the customer gateway, select the existing and the customer gateway ID, and in routing options select static and add the static IP prefix which we have launched in the North Virginia region. So which is 10.2.0.0/16. Now keep the other setting as default, and here you can find it tunnel 1 option and tunnel 2 option. We need to not mention here anything, keep other setting as default. So now just click on create VPN connection. So it will take around 5 to 7 minutes to create the VPN connection. So this setup will establish a VPN connection using the static routing, which will ensure a secure connection between the Mumbai region and the North Carolina regions. So as you can see, the state is available. So you can refer all the steps I have mentioned in the article, where you can find in posttechniques.com. Here I have mentioned all the steps, so you can refer this article, which is available on posttechniques.com. So let's move forward to our next step, which is to download the VPN configuration. So which will set up our data from the Mumbai region to the North region. So just click on this, select this, and click on download configuration. Select here generic and click on download. So basically this will download the configuration. So here you can find that we have successfully downloaded the configuration. So this is the configuration file we will need to establish the connection. So just minimize this, close this. Now our next step is to access the EC2 instance, which is launched in North Virginia region. So now we need to add some commands and configuration. So with the help of this, we can establish the connection between these two regions, and data can be forwarded from Mumbai to North Virginia region and vice versa. So just copy this. Now we will connect to this instance by using Mobex term tool. You can also use Putty or Git as per your requirement. So just copy the IP address, open the Mobex term tool, select session here, In SSH, just enter your IP address and specify the username, sorry, which is Amazon Linux machine as it is Amazon Linux machine. So type username as specify username as EC2-user. Then select the use private key, then click on OK. So as you can see, our instance has been not connected by using MobXterm tool. So let's go back and select the route table and check the internet gateway which we have. Again select the route table. So here you can find, just edit the routes and select your air route, then select air which will provide the internet access, then select your internet gateway, AWS site, and save the changes. Simply here also you need to do the same thing. Go to the VPC, select a route table, select the other route table and edit the routes, and as this is the default one, you need to give the internet access. So just save the changes. Now let's go back to our MobXterm tool. Now here you can see we have connected to the instance successfully. So just make sure that route table has the internet gateway, so it will provide the internet access and we can connect to the instance successfully. Now, now we will learn about the LabelSpan. So LabelSpan is an open source implementation of the IPsec, which is Internet Protocol Security, suited for Linux-based system. So basically, the LabelSpan provide the secure connection over IP network by encrypting and authenticating data packets. So now we need to enter the command, and you can refer the article to enter the command. So as we are going, select the step 9 and up, and here you can find the command. So now the first command is to type here sudo yum update the system. So now update has been completed. So just change the sudo user to the root user. Now we are the root user. Now just install yum install labelspan -y, and we have completed the installation. Now our next step is to modify the IPsec configuration, so which is located in the etc directory. So just type your vi, which will open an editor. So the ipsec.conf file is stored in etc directory. So just type your ipsec dot and now press enter. So below this, just check that you have uncommented the line which include etc ipsec.d configuration. So just check that this is uncommitted. So now just click on escape and WQ to exit. Now our next step is to update the system configuration which is stored in the etc directory. So before that, let's learn about ipsec.configuration file. So basically, this file contains various directives that will define how the system establishes and manages IPsec VPN connection. So this directive specify details like connection, keys, local network, and remote network. Now, let's follow our next step to update the system configuration. So just select type vi etc and the system configuration is also stored in the etc directory. Basically all the configuration are stored in etc directory. So just type your ctl sysctl dot conf, then click on enter. So basically this file will contain the lines defining various kernel parameters, also known as tunables. So these parameters control the aspects of Linux kernel's operation such as networking, memory management, and process handling. So by editing this file, we can fine-tune your system behavior to suit our specific needs. So now we will copy net IPv4 forward and these three lines and paste in our editor. So just click on I. So just uncomment this and click on right click so it will paste. So basically the net IP before IP forward is set to 1. So in simpler terms, it will enable IP forwarding on our system. So when enabled, our system can act like a router and forward packets between the different networks. And the net IPv4 concept redirects is set to 0 and the send redirects is set to 0. So this line will configure settings for all the network interfaces using the wildcard on. And the accept redirects will disable accepting redirects from other hosts on our network. And the send redirects is set to 0, which will disable sending redirects to other hosts on our network. So just save this by entering escape and W. So our file has been saved successfully. So our next step is to restart the network service. So simply type your systemctl restart system systemid network. So we have restart our network service successfully. Now our next step is to edit the ipsec.d and we need to create an AWS VPN configuration file in the etc directory. So the AWS VPN configuration will contain specific instruction for setting up a secure VPN connection to an Amazon Web Service, which is virtual private cloud using the IPsec protocol. So now you just need to create an AWS VPN configuration in the etc directory ipsec.t directory. So just type your vi to open an editor and as well as it will create the configuration file ipsec.t slash name of the VPN configuration which is AWS VPN. So just click on this. Now Here, just copy the configuration from the article and paste here, the editor. So just we need to change the left ID, the right, and the left subnet and the right subnet. So here in the left ID you need to mention, so just click on I to insert. So just delete this and copy the IP address of the instance located in North Virginia region. So just copy the IP address, paste in the left ID, and then simply in the right, as we have downloaded the configuration, here you can see the configuration. So in the left ID we have mentioned the customer gateway ID, which is the IP address of the instance launched in the North Virginia region. So if you go down here, you can find the customer gateway is 54.174, which is the IP address, and then select the IP address of the virtual private gateway. So just copy this and paste here in front of the right. Now in the left subnet, here you can find that the left is the IPv4 header block which we have created in the North Virginia region, so which is 10.2.0.0/16. So this is the correct configuration, and in the right subnet, which is the type IPv4 header block which we have created in the Mumbai region. So we have saved this. Now we need to save this file. So you can find that this configuration will set up an IPsec VPN tunnel which is named as tunnel 1. You can see the name which is tunnel 1. So basically it will connect our local network to our AWS VPC subnet using a preset secret for authentication. So it will also implement basic dead pair detection for maintaining connection stability. So just save this configuration by click on escape colon. So now we have saved the AWS VPN configuration. So now our next step is to create the secret file in the etc ipsec.t. So which will include the preset key to authenticate our system with the AWS VPN gateway while establishing the IPsec tunnel connection. So simply create ipsec.t via etc and just type here AWS VPN dot secrets. Now just click on enter, which will open the editor. Now you need to, so in the article here you can find, you need to mention the customer public IP address, virtual customer public IP address which is of the instance. So just copy this, paste here, then put space, click on I, paste here, then you can find the next is the virtual private gateway IP address. So as the virtual private gateway IP address is this. So just copy this and paste here. Now and just put the colon, then type PSK, and then in double quotes you need to put your secret key. So in the configuration which we have downloaded. If you go down, if you go up, here you can find the pre-shared key. Here you can see this is the pre-shared key. So just copy this, paste it between the double quotes. So now just save this by typing Control Escape colon WQ. Now we have saved the pre-shared key successfully in the AWS VPN.secrets. Now simply we need to type the command to enable and start the IPsec service. So just type here config chkey IPsec on. So just type here chkey config IPsec on. So basically this command will enable the IPsec service to automatically start whenever you boot your system. Then click on Enter. Now our next step is to check the status of the IPsec. So before that we need to start the IPsec service. So just type here service start IPsec. Sorry, service IPsec start. So we have started the service IPsec successfully. Now just type the status to see the status, and here you can find all the details, and it is has been actively running and the tunnel has been formed successfully. So now we will check this on our AWS console. So just select your site-to-site VPN connection and select this, and as you can see the tunnel 1 is currently down. So just refresh this. So it will take 5 minutes. So here you can find that status has been up. So we have connected the instance launched in the North Virginia to the Mumbai region successfully. So we have performed the practical. Now to delete all the resources, after this you can delete all the resources. So just start with the customer gateway, virtual private gateway, then the instance launched in the Virginia region, then with the VPC to delete all the resources. So let's move forward and check and see the benefits of what are the benefits of using AWS site-to-site VPN. So as AWS site-to-site VPN encrypts all the data exchange between our on-premises network and AWS, ensuring secure transmission and protecting sensitive information from the unauthorized access. So by seamlessly connecting our on-premises network to the AWS cloud, organization can establish a hybrid architecture where resources can securely interact with the AWS resources. And also AWS CloudWatch will provide log comprehensive monitoring, storage, and access to the log file related to AWS client VPN connection. Now let's say the importance of securely connecting on-premises network to AWS VPN. So as many companies store and analyze sensitive data in on-premises network by establishing a secure connection to AWS, you can securely transfer data to and from the cloud. So as certain industries and regulatory regimes impose severe security and compliance requirements by securely connecting on-premises network to AWS, organization can meet those standards while protecting privacy and integrity. So because of this, organizations frequently use hybrid architecture that combines on-premises infrastructure with cloud resources. Now let's learn about the best practices for configuring site-to-site VPN. So we can implement strong encryption, so which will utilize robust encryption algorithm and security protocol to safeguard VPN traffic from unauthorized access. Then the best practice is to enable monitoring and logging. So monitor VPN connection and log performance metrics to promptly identify and address any issues that may arise. With the help of the practice to implement redundancy, will set a multiple VPN connection across different ability zones or regions to ensure high ability and fault tolerance. And by regularly review and update settings, following the review and update setting, continuously review and update VPN setting, routing tables, and security groups to align with evolving network requirements and head to best security practices. Now let's learn about the use cases for site-to-site VPN. So it can be used for branch office connectivity, partner network integration, hybrid cloud environments, remote worker access. Well, it can provide secure access for remote workers to corporate networks and resources, ensuring data security and compliance with the remote work policy. And site-to-site VPN can also be used for disaster recovery, so which can establish secure connection for disaster recovery purposes, allowing data replication and backup between on-premises and cloud environments for business continuity. So these were the use cases. Now, if you go back and see the tunnel, there are two tunnels here. So if tunnel 1 is not in a working state, then we can use tunnel 2. So that's why there are two tunnels. Now, let's launch an EC2 instance in the Mumbai region and check that it is running or not. And then we will ping that instance by copying that IP address. So just as I am here in Mumbai region, so just check, we will check. Then launch the instance server 2. Select AWS Amazon. You can select anything. And I have created the key pair earlier. I am selecting the default, but I need to update two rules that I will going to update and just click on launching. So just update the security rules. So I have so just update the rule called as ICMP and select anywhere, and also TCP all to select anywhere. So just we will wait for some time to launch the instance. So we have launched the instance. So just copy this. So just press Ctrl plus C. Just type here ping and the IP address name. So as you can see, our instance has been running successfully. So you can refer all the steps from the article which is available on fastexit.com. So we will conclude for today. So in conclusion, setting up AWS site-to-site VPN enables secure connectivity between on-premises network and AWS cloud resources, fostering data protection, regulatory compliance, and seamless hybrid architecture integration for enhanced business operation. So thank you for watching the video. Please do like and share the video and also subscribe our channel. Thank you once again and see you in the next video.